I'm Josh.
And I'm Jen. Welcome to the Gospel Shaped Family Podcast.
Each episode brings biblical wisdom and practical conversations on parenting, marriage, and family. And we discuss how to disciple the next generation with a biblical worldview.
Whether you're raising children, shepherding a church, or longing to build a legacy of faith in your home, this podcast is for you.
Join us as we explore how to shape hearts, homes, and churches around the gospel, one conversation at a time.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Gospel Shaped Family Podcast. Well, fall is just around the corner, and every family with kids is thinking through fall school choice. What are you doing for school? What's it going to look like for you guys? And we're a homeschool family, so today we're going to be sharing what does our homeschool look like for the coming year? What are some choices that we made? And so we're going to be talking through what are some of the principles that guide our homeschool decision making, and just give you some insight into what does a typical day look like as we homeschool our elementary, middle school, and high school aged kids. So it's going to be a fun topic. I'm a homeschool mom, but I always ask my friends this question at this time of year, and it's fun to hear what everybody's doing. So, how's it going today, Josh?
It's going good.
Yes?
Yes,
Yes? Okay. Are you excited for the start of the homeschool year?
I am. Yeah. This is what number year for us?
This is year 16 for us.
Ooh, that's a lot.
We're veterans. We are homeschool veterans. I feel like in 16 years, we've tried so many different things.
Yeah.
A lot of times I'll have young moms be like, I'm going to do this curriculum or that curriculum. I'll be like, oh, I've tried that. I know exactly what that is.
Yeah.
So it's good. We've done a lot.
We've done a lot. Yeah, we've settled in after 16 years with we have a pretty clear focus on the kind of
Yep.
things that we are aiming at with our kids. So
Yep.
it's good.
It's great.
We're going to share that with you.
Yeah. So what did back to school look like for you when you were younger, Josh? Were there routines? Did your parents do anything? Did you love the start of the school year?
Maybe not love. I would imagine that most kids are like, no, the summer's come to a close. One of the things I don't love, this is just kind of offhand, it feels like summers have shrunk for kids. Like the school year has gotten longer. That it used to be like a full 3 months with a little extra sometime, or a
Like
full
June,
three.
July, August?
Yeah, you used to have till after Labor Day, June after Labor Day. Obviously, that's shifted down south. Now it's
Yeah.
starting up late July, early August. Get out a little earlier into May, but still not as long now. But even feels just like it shrunk maybe 2.5 months some places, and just eating in. So don't love that. But for me, first day of school pictures.
Oh,
We did that. You do that? I don't.
Did your
We
parents
did.
do that?
Yeah, I believe so.
I don't think I ever had a first day of school
Maybe
picture.
we didn't. Maybe that was just us.
I
our
did that with
kids.
the kids. I still do that first day of school picture. I love
think
a
we
first day of
did.
school picture.
I have to remember. We'd get new
New
clothes,
clothes? Okay.
and all your school supplies. And remember one year in high school, we didn't have a ton of money. It was like a tighter year financially that year, and so my parents, they told me I could have one shirt for every day of the week and two pairs of pants, one blue and one black.
Mix and match.
So Monday I'd have my shirt. Tuesday, well, that was a rough year as a teenager because your friends notice pretty quick you're wearing the same thing every week. So I started buying my own clothes then. But
When you're in high school?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Did you have any routines or traditions back to school?
I don't remember any routines or traditions. I switched schools so many times that I would have major anxiety at back to school. When parents talk about, oh, my kid has school anxiety, I can legit resonate with that because I had such anxiety. I would think I was going to throw up. I would think I was going to pass out. I would get so anxious at the start of the school year. And it would take me a while to settle in. I mean, it was hard on me.
That sounds like a Great tradition. Yeah. That's your tradition?
I hated back to school.
Yeah.
I hated it. Although I loved the shopping element for the new school supplies. I loved that. Even though I love a brand new notebook.
Did you have a metal lunch box that was like I think
Mm,
I had, like
no, I got school lunch.
oh, yeah. I put my head down and shit.
All the things that are like statusy when you were like in school when we were kids. Because what was status for you? Eating school lunch? Was that considered cooler?
Well, I went to a Christian school, so
I never even thought about the
they
cool
didn't have
factor.
school lunch. You had to
Okay.
bring your own. Everybody brought their lunch. So
Okay.
everybody bought, like, a lunch box, and it was back then, it was, like, those metal ones that were,
Mhm.
like, Star Wars or Pick Your Movie or the major
We
cartoon
did
yeah.
go through a bring a lunch phase. I remember that
Yeah.
because my mom would make sandwiches in bulk. It was like bulk sandwich making day, where she'd buy like a ton of loaves of bread and then a ton of lunch meat, a ton of cheese, and she would just like make sandwiches and then put them in like sandwich bags, freeze them, okay? And then in our big freezer, and then she would buy a big like Costco sized box of like potato chips and stuff like that. And then we had to like grab a sandwich, grab a whatever, but in high school, I remember just eating school
Do you
lunch.
back to school routines with kids to our kids?
Our kids?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about school's gonna be starting and this is gonna be the new routine. We do a shop, for like I have pencils and stuff like that year round because we homeschool, they're just like
So
there.
they get, like, a new pair of pajamas to wear while they sit on the couch and do
That would actually be really fun. That would go over well. I did ask, Emily, what she wants to wear for school this year. I asked both girls, actually. We were together in the
Yeah.
car. "What do you wanna wear for school this year?" Because they have all their activities and stuff. And Emily was like, "I want, more Nike joggers." That was her thing. And I was like, "I feel like that could be a really good choice, Nike joggers. Those are
Yeah.
comfortable." But no, we go and buy, like, notebooks and things that they need for school. And we do take a first day school picture.
Mhm.
Um, and then we just kind of, like in the past, we've eased in, So things change when your kids are little and you're homeschooling, there's a lot more that's relaxed. So, when they were really little, we would spend the month of September in Minnesota, kids go back to school after Labor Day. We don't start until before Labor Day.
Some schools do, like,
Yeah,
the
like private schools
very
do,
end
but
of
public
August.
schools, I think, right?
I think a few
Or
of
has that
I think
changed?
yeah, I think some have.
Anyway, but September, I always say in Minnesota or maybe even cross country is like the best kept secret because here the weather is so nice. And then every place that you would want to go on a field trip is just empty because the schools aren't doing field trips usually in September. So if you want to go to museums or you want to go to like, parks or if you want to go to, pick your place, and you wanna do that as a part of your homeschool, September is the place to go. So I used to say, "Oh, we're not starting math in September. We're, like, doing different things that are more out and about in September." But now that the kids have gotten a little older, we do start in September. That's
Yeah.
just kinda like
You
the
have
reality.
to.
You have
Yep.
to get through all your stuff. So,
Yep.
yeah, otherwise it gets a little crazy.
Alright, well, let's talk about a little bit kind of some of the principles that guide before we get into the specifics.
Yeah, so there's a few things that we do every year that we've done since the beginning that really make homeschool enjoyable, that makes it a great learning environment. It makes things better just for everyone, the whole family. And we'll go through a few of these, but the first one is we keep a daily routine. And so I always like to say, I've said this forever, that everyone is happier when you know what's coming next. So when you know what's coming next and you know what to expect, it just makes the days so much more enjoyable and just easier for everyone. And so we always keep a daily routine. I post the daily routine. Just so everybody just kind of like knows the framework. And we've kind of had similar framework ever since the kids were little. But it looks like we're gonna all wake up, and I set a time that everyone has to be out of bed. So, um, pick your time that works for you. But awake, everyone's out of bed, and you're gonna, brush your teeth and get dressed. And then we do morning jobs. Everyone has a morning job. We've always had morning jobs even before we bought the farm. Right now, we live on a farm, and so we have some outdoor morning jobs. But we've always had indoor morning jobs, every person before we start school. And then school time usually starts around 9 or 10. And so we have our routine for this year. So we do school until lunch. And then after lunch, we have quiet time, a period of quiet time where the whole house is quiet. And so we even do this with our teenagers. It's quiet reading time. If they need to do more schoolwork, they can do that. But read, take a nap, do a craft, whatever you want to do, but it's quiet. Then we do afternoon activities or music practice. Sometimes we have errands to run. Then we prep dinner and have dinner, and then the evening is family time. So that's the structure of our daily routine. If you have little children, you could throw in nap time. It might be morning nap, it might be afternoon nap. I used to do school time in the afternoon with our kids when I had three littles that were napping. You can do whatever works for you, but always keep a daily routine.
Daily routine's good.
Yep.
Number 2 for us is we start the school day together.
Mhm.
So, I'm not a part of that because 'cause I'm typically in the office working, but Jen with the kids, this often will be starting the day by reading, part of the Bible together, a portion of that, or a
Mhm.
chapter from a book, maybe singing, and it's not a huge amount of time, but it starts that off, gets them on the right focus, and then
Mhm.
they shift into more of the other subjects that they're working on.
Yep. It's a great springboard because especially as your kids get older, they're gonna be working a little bit more independently. There's things that's going on. But if we start together today by reading the Bible, I usually like to have a fiction book going, or something nonfiction. Like we've done so many different things. Like we did the fallacy detector last year. I read all those Tuttle Twin books out loud, all those. It doesn't have to be long, but it's something that we're reading out loud together. Start the
Good.
day. Um, the next thing that has been just core for us in our homeschool is that we do a literature based education. So when I say literature based, I mean that great books are the foundation of our home education. And so we want to use books that have stood the test of time as the core of our curriculum whenever possible. So, most years, that means that we would purchase a math curriculum, a handwriting curriculum, or spelling. But reading, art, science, history, literature, Bible, life learning, those come through reading books. And really, when you're reading a great book, those subjects come alive in ways that don't always happen with a traditional curriculum. And so
Mhm.
literature is the core of what we do, and it has been amazing.
It has been great.
Yeah.
Let's take a break to thank Renew Nation, the sponsor of this podcast. If you've benefited from the Gospel Shaped Family podcast, consider making a tax-deductible donation to Renew Nation today. Your generous donations make this podcast and our work to help children develop a biblical worldview possible. If you've enjoyed the episode, you can support us by leaving a review. This helps the podcast grow and reach more families. Now back to the show.
The next one for us, the fourth thing, is that we combine subjects as much as possible. But so by that I mean our different ages of our kids. So it just allows greater family continuity. Honestly, it saves some time when
Mhm.
more children are doing the same thing. It creates a shared learning environment, and some deeper conversation that can happen across the age spectrums. So no matter what age children are, no matter what stage they are, there are certain subjects that can always be
Mhm.
combined,
Yep.
and so that's kills two birds with one stone essentially.
Yeah, it's great. And then the fifth thing is we always make it a goal to set realistic expectations and then communicate those expectations to our kids. So, along the lines of daily routine, but homeschooling, it takes time and it takes commitment. And so, a lot of times you'll hear like these homeschooler influencers online be like, you can homeschool in 30 minutes a day and your kids are going to be geniuses. And those people are lying to you. They're lying to you. Homeschooling takes time. It takes commitment and you just need to do it. And so we just like to set realistic expectations about like this is what we're working on. This is your trajectory for the year. This is how much time you should expect. And so we just want to make sure that we are realistic in what do our children need, and how can we give them the best, give them our best in terms of learning and helping them reach desired outcomes as a part of their home education. So set realistic expectations and then communicate those expectations to your kids so they know what to expect.
So we kinda have 2 age groups of kids. What grades are our kids in right now? Just so people can kind of,
Yes.
place it. Yeah.
So this year we're homeschooling. Our youngest is in sixth grade.
Mhm.
So we have sixth grade, eighth grade, 10th grade, and then a senior in high school. So, I'm kind of seeing the kids as being in 2 separate groups this year. So, we'll have the younger group, which is our 6th and our 8th grader. And so, depending how you look at it, that 6th grade could be seen as elementary school or more middle school. Our 6th grader is a girl, and so she is very, like, type A, super motivated, and so this year we're gonna give her some of these like more heavy middle what I would consider to be like middle school academic experiences. And sometimes like we've had kids who are in sixth grade that feel like more elementary, and so they would do things a little bit more relaxed and a little bit different, but I think that she's ready for that. So sixth and eighth grade. So in these like middle school, late elementary years, all of their subjects are still taught by us. All of their work is done at home, and then these are middle school years, what I would consider to be high school prep years. So we go from doing like the more elementary, relaxed homeschooling to now like saying, okay, you're going to take on a little bit more responsibility in different sections of your schoolwork, and it just looks a little bit different. Those are your high school prep years. So we're going to do 6th and 8th grade. And then our older 2, our 10th and our 12th grade, are in high school. And so they are completing work that is on their high school transcript. And we could even talk a little bit more in a different episode, even about how we do our high school transcripts. There is a planning process that goes into that, but those 2 are in high school. And so our oldest is doing, in the state of Minnesota, we have something that's called post secondary educational options. Is that what it's called? PSEO. So it's essentially college classes. So he's taking classes in person at our local Christian college. They're a part of a homeschool tutoring group. So both our 10th and our 12th graders are taking classes in more of like a what would look like a traditional school setting, as a part of a homeschool tutoring group, and they're both pretty independent. So they have jobs, but they're going to be doing some of their subjects together. So our 6th and our 8th grade together, our 10th and our 12th grader together. We do morning time for everybody. Everybody still checks in the morning, and then we kind of go from there. So that's kind of our 2 groups, the elementary, middle, and the high school groups for the year.
That's great. So talk through a little bit about what specific things are we doing with Emily and John in those younger groups?
Yeah. So, well, I'll kind of talk through each of our subjects, and people can do this differently. I always love to hear how everybody does these different things, but this is kind of where we're landing for the year. I'm really excited about it. So, all of our kids are doing math all year. So, we use Matthew C for math. And so, our sixth and our eighth grader are doing Matthew C. They're in different levels. Matthew C offers a really great online video tutorial program. So I usually don't have our kids start those video lessons. I love math. I love teaching math. So I usually don't have them start doing those video online things until they are in pre algebra or algebra one. We actually didn't start those till algebra one, with other kids. But so I'm going to be teaching all of the math. I use there's like a teacher book and then like a workbook. Um, I don't use the teacher book as much. I just feel like I can look at it and explain it. I love it. So they're both doing math, Matthew C.
I'm so glad she knows math because I'm like,
I love it.
what number is that
It's like
again? Oh, it's a 7. Thanks for reminding.
fractions to decimals and extra long division and all the
Yeah,
things. I love it.
I'm glad you're good at
I
math.
like FOIL. I'm there for it. Okay. And then for the younger kids, we're doing science together. So we're doing human anatomy, which is an apologia science book. And then they have like
For
a
both kids,
for
6
both
and 8.
kids. So
This
we're
is
doing it
Yep.
together with a sixth grade and eighth grade together. And then they have a, a workbook that goes with it. So we're going to do that. So now I'm not a huge workbook person, but again, these years are high school preparatory. And so the reality is that once our kids get to high school and they're doing tutoring and they're in PSEO and they're doing all these different things, they need to be able to have those skills to like fill in the blank and fill out the worksheet and get a grade on it and all the things. So we're doing that together. This is high school preparatory. So we're doing anatomy. And then the two younger kids are doing practical English writing skills. So this is going to be like pen and paper, not so screen based. But we're going to be doing letter writing, how to write a review for a product, essay formation, creative writing prompts, using a thesaurus. We're going to do typing skills later in the year. But really, we're working at how do we put together the components of writing an essay? How do we put together these things in a cohesive way, writing it out on paper? Does it look good? Is it legible? And then we're going to send those off. So we're going to write letters to people. We're going to write product reviews and post them online. We're going to do all sorts of fun things with writings. We're doing those together. Our history spine is going to be literature based church history, that we have books we're reading for that. And then they each have extracurriculars that they do. Again, they do a lot of these together. So they go to band together, they go to gym together. Emily's doing art and piano. We're involved in a small group, which they do Bible study,
Man Co. and Woman
Man
Co.
Co and Woman Co. So
Whoop,
they'll do
whoop.
those studies. Emily's emphasis at home is going to be baking skills this year. And then John is doing Bible memorization with Grandpa.
It's great.
So those two are kind of grouped together. I'm teaching all the subjects.
Okay, talk us through the 10th and 12th grade.
Okay, 10th and 12th grade, they are in separate grades, but those two are doing a couple fun things together too. So our 10th grader is they both are going to this homeschool tutoring co-op. And so at the co-op, they're going to be taking biology with labs together. I think they're going to have they're going to have so much fun with that, in the biology classroom together. And then our 10th grader, Kate, is also taking elegant essay writing, which is put out by IEW, Institute for Excellence in Writing. We really recommend their curriculum. She's doing geometry with Matthew C. She's doing driver's ed. She's doing a history spine of literature books. And then band, of course. She's working at the greenhouse in the flower shop, which is like, she loves that. And then also the Women Co Bible study. So we're working on her transcript. The goal would be that she is ready to take college classes next year. So in the long-term formation in terms of her high school education, what do you need to do in order to really thrive in that college environment? It's excellent writing, it's excellent organizational skills and all that. So both her and Asher are also working on keeping a personal planner this year. They've done that in the past, but we're going to just be little more detail in the personal planner. And then our 12th grader is I'm not really teaching any of his subjects this year, which is like,
Band.
oh, band. I'm
You get
teaching band.
band.
I'm teaching band.
And well, I get to do
You do the
Man Co.
Manco.
Yeah, the
Yes.
Bible study.
Yes. But he is at Crown College. And so he's taking an emphasis on business classes this fall and kind of touching his toes in there and seeing what he thinks. But he's taking business communication, business foundations, as well as a personal physical fitness class there, which I think he's going to love. And then he's doing biology with labs at the co-op, algebra 2, Matthew C. He's going to finish out his algebra 2. And then, of course, band and working at the greenhouse and Manco. So, and that's his Bible studies. So each of the kids in high school, we like to see them have, between 4 and 5 classes per semester that they're really zeroing in on, with the goal at the end of their high school year to have a robust transcript that's college preparatory, whether they choose to go to college or not, but a college preparatory transcript. So they've filled their math, their English, their science, their history, and then any electives that they would like to take. We like to see them do a lot of those their senior year too.
So Asher should have a full year of college done when he graduates this
Yes.
year. That's the goal.
Yep. So
Yep.
when he graduates high school, yeah, they're dual credit, right?
Yep.
So he'll get credit for high school and for college as a result of his study in high school, which is a great way to do it.
Mm.
But so they kind of get the best of both worlds. Our 10th and 12th graders is that, they're still doing work at home. They still have at least one subject with their peers, with their siblings. Their peers are their siblings. And so they still get that community. They're still, a part of morning time. And so it's a nice way to homeschooling all the way through high school to do a blend of homeschool and high school. We're still overseeing all of their work, but it gives, a nice step towards independence before college.
For doing that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we recognize nobody's gonna like copy paste what we're talking
Nope.
about. And that's
Mm-mm.
not the point. But sometimes it's helpful to hear
Yep.
whether that's structure or principles that we follow, philosophy, or even some of the specific kinds of things. And maybe
Mhm.
that'll spark something that you could say, oh, I could take that or that and apply that if you're in the homeschool world. Or if you aren't homeschooling
Yep.
and are thinking about, could you do this? You can. And it has been
Mhm.
such a huge blessing for our family.
And yeah, I would
Yeah.
say, and I think sometimes it sounds like a lot. So when you say like, "Oh, my 8th grader is doing like math and science and English and writing," it's really not that much in terms of like your day. So we're probably putting in, you know, 3 hours of school time hands-on. And so really it sounds like a lot, but there's so much flexibility there. There's
Lots of
so
flexibility.
much flexibility there.
One of the beauties of homeschooling.
It's one of the
Yeah.
beauties of homeschooling, yeah. So if you have any questions about homeschooling, feel free to, like, leave a comment or send us a message to ask. We've done a lot of different curriculums over the year, and every year we come up with a plan like this, an overview, what do we want our children to know? What do we want them to know by the end of the year? What tools do we want them to walk away with? And then how do we accomplish those goals?
And who do we want them to
And
become? Yep.
who do
And
we want them to
yep.
become? Right. And so this is kind of where we landed for school this year. This is what we're embarking on. And yeah, sometimes I think it's just helpful to hear. What are you doing in your homeschool? This is what we'll be doing.
Hope it was a blessing for you to hear that. That does it for today. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you next time.
We're honored to partner with the Addisons, and today I want to point you toward their podcast. It's called Culture Proof, and they use a biblical approach to view current events, family, politics, and more. What makes it unique is their biblical perspective. They take the truth from the Bible and they apply it to issues that we're facing today. They don't just discuss problems, they provide practical things that we can do to make a difference and raise our children to follow Christ. Subscribe today so that you and your family can be culture proof. Thank you for listening to the Gospel Shaped Family Podcast. Please share this episode and give us a 5-star rating wherever you get your podcasts.